It's time to have the conversation. What is up, Finn fans? I've been teasing this for probably all the offseason, talking about Tua Tagovailoa, talking about what the Dolphins can do with him. There's multiple options. I think I have 4, so multiple. I only said 3 options that the Dolphins can do with Tua Tagovailoa, and probably one of the 4 they will do with Tua Tagovailoa. Got some things to talk about. First, like always, go check out the sponsor of the channel throughout all football season. Love them. They supported the heck out of this channel. They're super fun. Fantasy app. Go check them out, Sleeper. Get 100% up to $100. Use the promo code DDW. And if you just want to try it out, you get a free $20 entry. No deposit needed for your first time. Go check them out. little what? 2 things, right? 1, John Embry from a source that's telling Barry Jackson he's not coming back as a tight ends coach. And we are keeping 2 assistant coaches. 1, Joe Barry, who's the linebackers coach, will be staying on as the linebackers coach. He's with the Packers. I think he was their defensive coordinator or he was their linebackers coach at some point. He's staying. I like that. I think the Dolphins linebackers played very well, especially Jordan Brooks. I'm fine with Joe Barry staying. And defensive line coach Austin Clark is also being retained. Let me look up. I'm going to look him up. But I'm pretty sure Austin Clark has a Green Bay Packer background. I'm pretty sure he has a background there. This poet. He doesn't have a Wikipedia page. I'm pretty sure. But anyway, so those 2 guys are staying on. Austin Clark, I'm okay with. Our front wasn't doing much. Our pass rushers weren't really getting home. We were, still second bottom half of the league. I think we went from like 27th to like 15th in sacks, but a lot of those sacks came from the linebackers and blitzing and stuff like that. So just off of the defensive end position and the defensive line, our pressure wasn't great. But again, I'm pretty sure we are switching from a 3-4 to a 4-3. That is kind of what Hafley ran in Green Bay. So I am expecting us to run a 4-3 here going forward. So, I'm going to do a whole video talking about the defense that we're going to see there. So that's kind of, only took about 2 minutes, 3 minutes of me catching you guys up with the coaching staff and shouting out the sponsor who helps keep the lights on, especially during the dead part of the season. So let's get in. Oh, one more thing. Anthony Weaver is going to the Baltimore Ravens as their defensive coordinator. So the Dolphins waited, and so did Anthony Weaver. He waited. And then the Arizona Cardinals hired Mike LaFleur. And then so the Dolphins were like, all right, Sean Dugan, you are DC. And Baltimore was like, and we're going to take Anthony Weaver. Bing, bang. But it literally was like, pow, 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 once Arizona made their announcement. So Anthony Weaver is going to Baltimore. Watch him do fantastic in Baltimore. And then watch in 2027, he gets a head coaching job. But I think you have to be a coordinator for 2 years for them to get comp picks, if my memory is correct. You can agree or disagree below and let me know. So I asked a lot of you guys in yesterday's video, hey, do you want 2 videos or do you want just 1 big video? And a good amount more of you guys said, hey, give us 2, give us 1 focus just on what they're going to do with Tua and 1 on focus on what they're going to do with the quarterback's situation in a nutshell. So there is that. So first and foremost, the first thing on the list of what options they have is just to keep Tua. Keep Tua Tagovailoa on the roster, have him compete with Quinn Ewers, or if they draft somebody or if they sign somebody, that'll be in the next video when I talk about options at quarterback, but keep him. Essentially, there's no change. You're not going to touch his contract. You're not going to restructure it. You're not going to do anything. He's on the roster. You're going to try him out. Is he going to win the starting position or not? And then if not, he's a backup. Essentially the Kirk Cousins situation. because Kirk Cousins made a lot of money as a backup with Michael Penix Jr. being the starter. That is kind of what they'll do with Tua. Hey, compete with Ewers, compete with whoever the third guy is or fourth guy. I don't know what their plan is. Again, they know they have a plan, but they haven't told us. Compete. Winner gets the job, and Tua, you'll be the backup. And then if they decide to go in that route one, they can cut Tua in 2027 next year and do it outright, like from the jump, and save $21.6 million. Or they could do a post June 1st and save $37 million. So you just sit there, you eat it, you take your lumps for being so dumb to give him the contract you gave him, and then cut him in 2027 and draft your quarterback in 2027, or whoever won the competition. If he played really well, there's your quarterback of the future. So there is that. Then option dos is you just cut him. Flat out cut him. Do the Russell Wilson situation with the Denver Broncos, and you just flat out just cut him, right? It is a $42.9 million cap hit. So you're going to take a big fat cap hit, and it's going to affect your cap to the point where, again, like the Broncos, you're going to have to make a lot of moves. You're going to have to restructure a lot of people. You're going to have to, figure out things and bargain shop for just roster spots in general. It's a big cap hit, but in 2027, it is a $53.4 million cap savings. So again, option one, you keep them and then you just cut them next year. $21.6 million before June 1st, $37 million after June 1st. If you just cut them and say, hey, we're just going to move on. It's not working. It's not you, it's us. However you want to phrase it. You save $53.4 million in cap space next year. It's a huge shot up. Here, I'll show you. I'll show you exactly what I mean. Because I was doing the math. I'm doing a lot of the math. So here you go, right? Here's Tua, a calculator. So you see here, right? We're right now negative 16.2 million. Let's just cut them, right? Flat out cut them. You see it's a 42.9 million, or round up to 43 million cap hit. Watch where I want you to watch is the 2027 cap space right here. Watch what happens here if we just cut them. Whoop. Shoots up 140 to 149 million dollars. Again, it's a $53.4 million savings, but as you can see, the cap space takes a huge negative drop to 59.1 over the cap, whereas it was 16 per over the cap. But again, if you come over here, again, we're going to look at his contract. The Dolphins cap space is not that. It's like 22 million. So who do you believe in? I don't know. We'll see when all the dust settles. So there's that. And of course, you were carrying a dead cap of $99.2 million, right? So what are you going to do? You're gonna do it. You're just gonna take your lumps. You're gonna just flat out say, all right, we're just gonna move on. We'll take the big cap savings next year and just have no money this year. This year, let's get the cap right. Let's get it ready for 2027. Let's try to compete. Let's build a foundation, and we'll move on from there. Is that what you're gonna do? Because again, you're gonna the 99.2 dead million. A dead million, $9.2 million in dead cap. But the plus on that is it's just in 2026. So that dead cap is not going to transfer to 2027 because, again, as you see here, it's just in 2026, right? If you do a post-June 1st release, it separates the dead cap hit into 2 years. You just flat out cut them, you're eating that, but it's just one dead cap hit this year. But now your job just became even more hard because you have to now figure out how to bring your cap below and still be able to scavenge up a roster to play football. That's option two, right? So option one, you keep them, open competition, you cut them in 2027. Option two, you just cut them, take a big cap hit this year, but you take more of a savings in 2027. Then there's option three. Option three, as I kind of showed you briefly here, You cut him post June 1st, and his cap hit is only $11.132 million, and that dead cap gets split up into 2 years, bigger being this year, lesser being in 2027. So what you could do with that is you can retroact it, or you can compensate for that by making, say, Tyreek Hill a post June 1st cut as well. That is like a $30 million cap savings. So it will kind of retroact. You take an $11 million hit, but then you put Tyreek's in June 1st. Boom, you take a $30 million savings that kind of, equals out, and you still have it somewhat of a savings. But then again, the negative to that is that dead cap is split. So you are taking a dead cap over to 2027. Now let me see if they add that on. Yeah. Again, so it goes to 27 million. Here, let me show you kind of what it would look like, right? So you cut him. As you can see here, it goes to 27 million, but then you make Tyreek Hill post June 1st cut. You save some money. So you could do it that way, because again, it's a $35.2 million savings, and it's $11.1 million cap hit. I'm looking here. So if it's in the red, you're losing money if you cut the guy like Jalen Waddle, who just got a contract. If the Dolphins decide to cut him, they're eating $28 million. Steelers is the same. You got a new contract for it. So that's how this works. So there's that. That's the other option. So that is option number 3. Sorry about that little blip. I hit the wrong button. Then you have option number 4. And option number 4 is a fantastic option. It's an option that I'm pretty sure everyone and their mother in the organization will love to happen. But option number 4 is the hardest of all the 3 options to do. And that is because it involves trading Tua. You can trade Tua. And if you make it a post June 1st trade, you save $42.8 million, and that 45.2 dead cap is split up. But if you trade him right away before June 1st, it's only an $11 million savings. So it flips it. If you kind of look here, it flips it. So as you see here, if we just cut him, it's a $42 million cap hit. But if we trade him post June 1st, it's a $42 million cap savings. If it's a post June 1st release, it's a negative $11 million cap hit. But if you trade him now before June 1st, it's $11 million cap savings. See how it like crosses? See how funny that is? So here's the problem with trading him. 1, you're going to need to restructure his contract. Now, he came out and he said that that'd be dope to have a fresh start. And, some people could have, took that as a fresh start as a new GM, a new head coach, new regime coming in. And then somebody was like, just so you know, fresh start means somewhere else. And he was like, yeah. So he kind of even understood, like, yeah, I don't have great memories here. Obviously, Dolphin fans don't have great memories of him here besides 2023. But again, it still ended up being torturous. Him dealing with the Deshaun Watson situation, him dealing with Brian Flores, yada, yada. And then obviously they gave him it's the whole Tua saga, which I will make a video on if and when he is either cut or released. It was such a hot mess express. And I will talk about it when and if that does happen. But anyway. So he's going to need to restructure. And I'm pretty sure if you said to Tua, hey, we have a trade partner, we can get you out of here, but we need to work on your contract. It's too much money and they won't want to make the trade. I'm pretty sure at this point he has made how much of millions of dollars. His guarantee is $167.1 million, $0.2 million. That is the money he is going to put in his pocket, regardless of what happens. So I'm pretty sure he'd be, if I'm Tua, I'm like, yeah, get me the heck out of here, right? So he's going to have to restructure that contract. And then the Dolphins are going to have to figure out some draft compensation for this new team taking on Tua, taking on the restructure. Obviously, that restructuring with Tua is going to be a 3-way conversation with Tua, the Dolphins, and the new team, right? So the Dolphins would be like, hey, we'll take on a little bit of this cap hit, and then you'll go to this team, and hey, how much it's going to be a whole hodgepodge of a mess. But he'd have to get restructured, and your compensation, the Dolphins don't have a 6th, right? They have 1 first, 1 second, 3 thirds, 1 fifth, and 1 seventh. Give us a sixth, right? I don't even give a crap. You can give me a 6th round pick. Here's Tua Tagovailoa. You got to find a partner. You got to restructure. You're not going to get anything back. Some people even say you might have to give up a draft pick because essentially what you're doing is so say like, pick a team. I will talk about them in a second because I wrote down their cap numbers, but you just pick a team and essentially say, okay, we'll give you a 4th, you give us a 6th, and you take on this much of the cap space, yada, yada. That's something that is probably going to happen if you want to trade him. And again, that's why this one of the options on Tua is the most difficult, because it involves a lot of moving pieces, a lot of the contract, a lot of draft picks, a lot of different things that is going to have to happen. Now, it would be the best option for the Dolphins because you will save some type of cap space and Tua is gone. But it's a problem. Now, there are teams out there, right? Now, you're looking at dome teams. So I know like you might hear Kansas City or you might hear the Jets. I've seen like Bleacher Reports and like Facebook posts. Don't listen. I'm begging you. Do not look or read or listen to any Facebook posts. I've not been on Facebook in forever because of how toxic it is and how some of these posts, you're just like one of them says like the Jets are going to actively try to trade for Tua. That just makes no sense for the Jets at all. Like 0 cents. They got the cap space, $82.7 million. But it's cold up there. He won't thrive in New York. It's just dumb. So you're looking at like Indy, who has $35 million in cap space. Atlanta, $27 million in cap space. The Rams, $46.8 million in cap space. The Raiders, who have the second most cap space at 87.8. And then you got the Saints, who are over the cap by 41 million. So those guys are like, they're talked about, but it's like, it ain't gonna work. But like the Raiders make like the most sense to me. It's a dome team. They got money, so you can finagle that contract so that you can say to them like, hey, let's see, hold on. Talk about restructuring, because you could take his signing bonus. You could take his base salary, make it into a signing bonus, which is $39 million, which again is just a lot of Stephen Ross opening his checkbook to get Tua out of here. Or you can look at the cap hit the Dolphins would take if they cut him, $42.9 million cap hit, and say, hey, take half of that. Or, whatever, trade-wise, right? So there'd be a cap savings if the Dolphins trade him before June 1st of $11 million. The Dolphins could probably cut that in half if they wanted to. If they do a post June 1st, it's a $42 million cap savings. Hey, we'll take $20 million of that and pay off his contract for $20 million. You know what I'm saying? Just make some type of move to make the trade more enticing for team, said Raiders, who have a ton of cap space. Now, I know you're probably already typing it saying, but they're about to draft Mendoza. Yes, 1,000%. Still want a vet? Still want a vet backup? You're going to pay a vet backup that much? That's where the cap restructuring or the contract restructuring comes into play. And that is also why, because I can tell people are probably calling me dumb in the comment section, saying why would this team trade for him? Or why would that team trade for him? And who would trade for that contract? And who would give up anything for him? But that is why I'm saying that this option is the most difficult and probably not going to happen. Okay? So pump your brakes before you start yelling at me. And also listen to me when I'm saying things. So again, here's the options that the Dolphins have with Tua Tagovailoa. 1, you just keep him, have a competition, cut him in 2027. You save $21 million if you cut him straight up. You save $37 million if you make it a post June 1st. Seems like that, like if I had to put a percentage on that one happening, I'd probably put it around like 15%. From what I'm hearing, Stephen Ross does not want Tua on the team. And if Stephen Ross doesn't want Tua to be the starting quarterback in 2026, he'll probably open his checkbook to get him off the team. So again, number 1, probably not the most likely. You got number 2, you just cut him. You just cut them. You deal with the dead cap this year. You deal with the big fat cap hit, but you get a bigger cap savings in 2027 with $53.4 million. And again, there could be some type of move where the Dolphins work on his contract so they can cut him, and both teams can be happy that, hey, Tua, you are now free to go wherever you want, and we're not in hell. And then number 3 is you make it a post-June 1st cut. It's not that big of a hit. You are splitting that $99 million dead cap hit, but it's a little bit better of pulling the Band-Aid off. You're doing it a little bit slower versus just ripping it off on option 2. And like I just got done talking about, option 4 is the most difficult. So I could see, if I had to put it in order of what I think is going to happen, I think they might do a post-June 1st cut, designate it as a post-June 1st cut, right? And they could do that at any point. You just got to do it before June 1st. So say the Dolphins are talking, and then there's a combine, and they're talking and talking and talking. Free agency starts, and they're picking up the phone. They're calling and calling. The draft gets closer, and they're like, anybody want Tua? Anyone want Tua? Tua. What do you want to do? And then it just falls apart. The Dolphins are like, we're just going to make a post-June 1st cut. And then just deal with the split of the dead cap and the $11 million cap hit. I could see that being probably, like, if more likely, realistic is that one. Cutting straight up might be number 2. Trading him, if the Dolphins have their option, would be number 1. But again, it's going to be difficult. And keeping him, again, I think that's the least likely of all of them. But that's my thoughts and opinions. Comment below. What is your thoughts, opinions on this? Take your Dolphins cap off. Take your I love Tua cap off. Take your I hate Tua cap off. Look at the situation. Take a step back. Out of the 4 options, what is more realistic? What are you thinking? Let me know. I'm going to talk about options at quarterbacks. We're going to talk about the cap space. We're going to talk about a lot of things. So it's just the beginning. We're in February. We're getting ready for free agency, which starts the first week of March. Yeah. So got a lot to talk about. So if you haven't yet, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Lets me know you like the content, and I will see you in the next video. But like usual, stay classy. F-ins up.